fists raised in the air, you can hear the tune of the national anthem playing in the background. You suddenly wonder why this one man is out of line from the rest of his teammates. One individual labeled as an icon to some and a menace to others. Regardless of people's personal feelings, it is inevitable that this action has brought a great amount of attention to players' rights in the NFL. Today I would like to discuss players' rights, their safety, and wages. Generally, people see players as pawns in the game. Some people forget that players have voices too. In September 2016, Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem. Some fans saw this as a disgrace to the country and the national anthem, no matter the reason behind it. For Colin Kaepernick, he found this to be an eye-opener to the nation. He used his platform as an NFL player to bring awareness to the issues regarding police brutality. On May 23rd, the NFL publicly announced that all teams and league personnel on the field shall stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. According to WashingtonTimes.com, 32% of fans have tuned out the league due to anthem protests, causing ratings to drop nearly 13% from last year. Wide receiver Odell Beckham, which most of us know, of the New York Giants, has also had hard times regarding rights. Junior was just recently fined $18,000 for wearing cleats in honor of the late Craig Sager, who passed away from leukemia. Updated in 2016, the collective bargaining agreement states, no commercial or endorsement agreement entered into by a player can alter the NFL dress code. Pre-game cleats can't be displayed with any other logo than Nike, Under Armour, or Adidas, and shoes cannot express political views. Beckham's cleats were a part of the team colors. They displayed Nike and didn't express political views at all, and were also set to be auctioned off. Also checked to be auctioned off, with the proceeds being donated towards cancer research. In the last decade, the National Football League has changed many rules in the game to protect players. Many fans express their dislike for these new rules because they feel as if the NFL is becoming soft. The NFL has power to fine owners and coaches a whole lot of money. NFL owners and coaches can be fined anywhere from $10,000 to $500,000 per safety violation, which are known as penalties. These fines have been instilled to try and steer players away from causing bodily injury to one another, specifically quarterbacks and receivers. Just in the past 7 weeks of this current NFL season, SpotTrack.com has calculated over $1.7 million in fines from face masks, roughing the passer, and defensive contact penalties. In our minds, it also seems that everyone in the National Football League is getting paid and getting paid very well. This is only an assumption, depending on the player and the benefits may vary. So how is all this money broken down? Each team starts off with a budget known as their salary cap. According to ESPN.com, the current NFL salary cap is set at $177.2 million per team. This cap is increased every year by at least $10 million. This cap is set to maintain a balance by restricting richer organizations from dominating by signing more top players than others. NFL players are also paid weekly during the 17-week season, with some players making more than others, of course. NinersNation.com calculates the league minimum to be $7,200 per week, which includes practice players also. The collective bargaining agreement has also made sure players and owners have money split evenly, allowing players to collect 47% of the earnings to the 10-year current collective bargaining agreement. The current agreement also includes a new rookie wage scale, which is created to ensure that veteran players don't feel monetary neglect, and so the NFL teams can support players that have been around the organization for years. In the agreement, each draft pick will make less money the further that they fall down in the draft. The wage scale currently guarantees that rookies will make a minimum of $465,000 in year one, $540,000 in year two, $615,000 in year three, and then $690,000 in year four. In conclusion, I have discussed players' rights, players' safety, and players' wages. When you tune into your next NFL game, you will now have a better understanding of some of the rights, rules, and regulations that the Players Association has.